Engage learning. So this is Ruby class. So Ruby is an object-oriented language. So what do we mean by an object? So object is something which belongs to some category, which has some attributes, which has some behavior, because this is like the way we perceive objects in our real life. And if you come from Java, Python or other language, so then you kind of have some feeling about objects and the concept of object-oriented programming. So in this tutorial we are just going to see how does Ruby treat their objects. I mean, what do they expect from objects? So in Ruby everything is object. So like we have one, so one is an object. So one has a class, one belongs to some category, you can say that, and one has some attributes and one has some behavior. So behavior means one has some methods. So in Java it's like if you have to get absolute value of a number, like 1 is a number, then you write it like math dot apps and then you get the number. But in Ruby 1 is an object, so you can call methods on 1 directly. So it's like you can ask 1 whether it is an odd number or even number. It says okay, I'm an odd number. But if you call even, then it will say no, I'm not an even number. It returns false. So here you can see some question marks after the method name. So it's like it's the style in Ruby. So if any method ends with a question mark, it means it will tell you, it will give you result a boolean value. So this is not a kind of constraint on you, but this is kind of Ruby way of programming. So this is the thing that everybody follows in Ruby. So if you put a question mark, it means you're going to return some boolean value. So it means now 1, which is a number, it is an object, and we can see the behavior, and it also tells us about the category, which we find by calling a class method on it. And if you want to know like what are all the methods available on 1, then in Ruby you will just simply call one.methods, and you can see here all the methods that one has, that one can respond to. Okay, so we are not going into the details, but it's just an idea. Like you have an object and you want to see like what are the methods that that object can respond to, then this is the way to get that. Okay, so one is an object, then what is the ID of that object? Like there is some funda of ID in many languages. It's also there in Ruby, so you can call it like this. This is the object ID. So, and also like if our object is a negative, then if you want to know the absolute value of it, then this is the way we get it in Ruby. So this is kind of the way Ruby treats its objects, and this is kind of a very introduction to Ruby language. And you can see here that we are using an interactive prompt. So if you have to use this, then you call it like IRB. If you have installed Ruby, then you will write IRB command, and then it will take you to the interactive prompt of Ruby, where you can write simple Ruby programs. I mean, you can do a lot of things here, but for the beginning, this is like you can write simple Ruby programs, and it will you can run it here and you can see the result yourself rather than writing those programs in some big file. So I mean, things might seem to you confusing for some people. For some people it might seem very easy, but this is the way, and this Ruby class is going to begin. So that was all for today's class, and now we will see what are the classes and how do we create instances of objects in the next class. So that was all for this class. Thank you. Bye.